Chapter 7 The Black Hole. Jerry arrived at the port where Austin stood. Austin jumped onto the main deck. Thanks for coming on short notice, Jerry. Austin ran up the stairs to the helm. I need to go to Gustav's island again. What for this time? Jerry asked. Something's going on at the Starbright clock tower, Austin replied. He turned around and sat down on the sun deck. The black hole is a big hole on the top floor of the Starbright clock tower. The hole sucks in stardust and turns it into power, as Ariel explained to Alexis. The black hole also sends out a poison that destroys Starbrights. Massive vine-like tentacles stick out of the floor near the black hole. They destroy more and more things the more powerful they get. When the black hole receives enough power, the hole will transform into a monster and destroy the islands of Starshine. The top room of the tower was very dark. The only light was the bright colors coming from the center of the big blob called the black hole, placed in the room by King Ariel. The tentacles smashed through the wooden floor and into the rooms below it. Stardust flew all over the room and began to make a funnel over the blob. The stardust started to form the blob into a monster. Then the tentacles detached themselves from the floor. They rose into the air and smashed through the ceiling. The light from the sun peered through. The center of the blob crashed through the floor. Legs began to form under it. Eyes popped out above the bright colors. The monster brought down the tentacles and smashed down the walls. The whole top of the left building exploded, the same explosion that Austin saw. The monster hurled itself around the side of the building. It climbed down the back of the tower. The villain jumped onto the ground. The street cracked into big chunks of asphalt. It created a loud noise, the one Austin heard when he was with the guards. Black Hole stood up. His face was 10 feet above the ground by the tentacles. Oh, hold on. His face was 10 feet above the ground, held by the tentacles. He began to trudge through the streets. Then he sensed Austin's presence and ran behind a building to hide. He waited until he saw Austin's yacht come and pick him up. The huge monster lifted a tentacle and demolished the building he was behind. He let out a large roar. He trudged down the streets again and scoped for Starbrights. He came across a Starbright who was oblivious to the whole situation. He opened his mouth and sent out a hypnotic poison for the Starbright. He commanded the Starbright to gather up the Star Police and bring them to him. The Starbright stumbled to the Star Police station. He opened the door and walked through the hallway. He walked into the main office of the main police officer. Sir, follow me with all of your officers, the hypnotized Starbright said slowly. The officer stood up. Boys, come here. All the officers came into the room. Follow me in this Starbright downtown. Yes, sir, they all said. The Starbright led the Star Police out of the door. He walked down the road, stumbling many times. He arrived where the black hole was standing. Black Hole turned around. He stared down at the Star Police. He opened his mouth and sent out the hypnotic poison. He commanded them to join him. Help me destroy Austin Oxley and these stupid islands, he said in his very deep voice. Yes, our master, they all bowed. When Oxley returns to the islands, we will destroy his yacht before he reaches the port. Then he will be dead, and all we would have to do is bring down these islands, Black Hole said to them. Yes, our master. Austin arrived at the port at Ariel's island. He jumped onto the dock. He ran out of the gate onto the street. He ran to the castle. The guard was still standing there. Can you tell Gustav that Austin Oxley is here to see him? Austin asked the guard. Hold on 1 minute, sir, the guard said. He walked to the telephone on the table. He picked up the phone and dialed the number of Ariel's throne room. King Ariel's throne room, the guard on the other line said. Yes, this is Wallace down at the entrance. Can you tell Ariel that Austin Oxley is here for him? Wallace, the guard, asked. Will do. Tell him to meet Ariel in the conference room, the guard on the other line replied. The guard hung up the phone. You can go up to Gustav's conference room now. Thank you, Austin walked past the guard. Do you mind showing me where the conference room is? Sure, the guard led Austin to the conference room. Austin sat down in the leather chair at the end of the table. A guard walked through the doors. Please rise for President Gustav, he announced. Austin stood up. Ariel entered into the room and sat across from Austin. Good afternoon, Austin, Ariel said. Good afternoon, Gustav, Austin said to Ariel. What do you come here for? Ariel asked. I come with the news that something is going on around Starbright Clock Tower. The top of the left building exploded, and I read in the news report that lightning was exploding out of the clock. Right now, what we think is that the building is reacting to the poison and is slowly falling apart. I sent inspectors to, inspect why and how the building is falling apart. Ariel lied. He knew that Black Hole was destroying the building, but he needed to make Austin think that everything was all right. Well, I thought that maybe the tower was the source of the poison, Austin implied. Nonsense. My reports say that it might have been a shipwreck off the coast of the island. We think that the ship was carrying stardust and that the stardust was radioactive, and it created a poison. Thank you for inspecting things for us, but we have everything under control. Under control? Can you explain the lightning strike that was sent from the Starbright Clock Tower to the middle of Lexus's kingdom? Can you explain? Austin, please, Ariel interrupted. Everything happens for a reason. We'll be able to explain all of those things in a couple of days. Don't worry. Thank you for coming here to tell us this. We're going to take you off of this quest. Thank you for helping us, though. You're welcome, Austin stood up. Oh, can I talk to Alexis? She's sleeping. Can't talk, Ariel said. Can you tell her that I miss her? Austin asked. Will do. Goodbye, Austin. Austin walked out of the room.